beep, 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 beep. Hello, good peeps. Welcome to the Court of the Edijester. How are we all doing out there today? Oh, dear. What can the matter be? Well, University of Minnesota is beginning a calamity, and that's what we're going to talk about today. You probably can see already there the picture of my gender dolls. Yep, it's exactly what you think it is. Now, I've got this particular article from alphanews.org, who've come across this information in regards to University of Minnesota, so we're back in America again. Jose, can you see? And all that, right? Before that, please do subscribe, share this on Twitter or Facebook, wherever you can. Let's get the message out there. People need to know what's going on. The University of Minnesota's gender dolls teach kids that their gender identity is valid no matter what parts they have. With the dolls, kids can mix and match anatomical features like genitals and internal organs to reflect their perceived gender identity. The school paid kids as young as 5 to participate in an activity with the dolls. So in other words, gender politics is officially child's play at the University of Minnesota. The taxpayer-funded university paid children as young as 5 to participate in group activities that involve customizing genitalia and internal organs under the guise of therapy. So this is they've got together a bunch of kids and gone, right, we're going to do this. It's like a therapy activity where these kids can mix and match their genitals on the particular dolls. If you're old enough, or for that matter, if you're a warrior teacher long enough through the program, then it is quite possible that you will know the story of something called the McMartin trial. Now, the McMartin trial took place in America many years ago. And it was a trial based upon the idea that this preschool, which was run by a family called the McMartins, which included the matriarch, the older grandmother, the mother, a son, and a couple of daughters, and a few other people, who ran this daycare center for toddlers. We're talking, serious nippers, little nippers. And this particular case is historic for a number of reasons. So historic, in fact, it was made into a film, which I believe is available on YouTube, called Indictment, which starred James Woods. And James Woods played the part of the lawyer who attempted to help the Buckley family, which is what they were called, the Buckley family, in fighting the most extraordinary allegations of child abuse that were frankly unbelievable at the beginning and just became more unbelievable as time went on. What most people don't realise is that this particular trial, which went on for 10 years, informed work within the field of preventing child abuse across many countries, including the UK, and was directly involved in the promotion of false memories and the satanic panic. But at the heart of the programme, or at the heart of this particular problem at this particular trial, was that come the end of the trial, Key McFarlane, who was the psychotherapist that was involved in talking to the children, had cherry-picked tapes of videotapes of what she'd been doing with the children to get these very young children to admit that there had been sacrifice of animals, that children had been killed and terrible things done to them, and that various games were played involving sex and the adults who worked at the nursery, the Buckleys. What she failed to do was to show the entire clips. It was only near the end of this long period of time that the defense attorney was able to get them. But what was central to that particular trial was a system of using dolls to encourage the children to point out where they were touched. And when it was revealed that what had happened was that there was serious leading questioning going on and that children were being shamed if they didn't give the correct answers, in essence, it perpetrated one of the worst miscarriages of justice that the American system has ever seen. And when the whole thing came to fruition and eventually was exposed for what it was, it turned out that it was one mentally ill mother who'd started the process, followed by the police writing to all the parents of the nursery school saying, check your child for abuse, that had driven the entire nonsense. I say this and I tell you this because this kind of play that is being discussed here by the University of Minnesota is absolutely rife with problems that we know about from that trial. You tell kids to do what you want them to do. You'll think that you're helping them do it, but you're not. You'll be nudging them to do it. You won't realise that you are, because anybody who does this is thick. Right? So they're stupid to begin with. They don't realise what it will do. So what they will in fact do is they will make kids think that they can do this, and they will make kids think that there's something that they're not. This is absolutely indoctrination and grooming, because it's children, If it was adults, it's a con. Grooming, because it's children, being paid for by the state. It's a taxpayer-funded university. The University of Minnesota's National Center for Gender Spectrum Health at the Eli Coleman Institute for Sexual and Gender Health circulated a flyer earlier this year offering up to $60 per group to transgender and gender diverse kids between the ages of 5 and 10. I want these people in the dock. Along with their families, to take part in a project aimed at helping talk about gender and bodies using a tool called My Gender Dolls. These customizable dolls come in different shapes, sizes, ages, and skin tones. Kids can also mix and match anatomical features like genitals and internal organs to reflect their perceived gender identity. A video posted on the university's website gives an animated description of the dolls. There are lots of different ways to be a girl or boy, or anywhere along the gender spectrum, the narrator says. 5 to 10. The My Gender Dolls app is the brainchild of Institute for Sexual and Gender Health psychologist Rachel Becker Warner, PsyD, and was co-developed with Diane Berg, PhD, and Ashley Finch. According to the researchers, the app helped kids to see that their gender identity is valid no matter what parts they have. Kids who use the app will have a choice of genitals and internal reproductive organs to pick from. These people are so sick. As we move forward, the plan is to create more bodies, clothing and accessories by hiring more transgender and gender diverse identified artists and to get this tool into the hands of gender therapists who support kids with their gender exploration. The school website states. Beyond customizing genitalia and internal organs, children can also choose clothing items designed to be inclusive of all body shapes and sizes. I think everyone should be learning that there's diversity in gender identity. And what makes you real is not what your body parts are, but how you think and feel, Berg said in a 2020 article about the dolls. This is the cult in full flow. This is the predation on children, some of whom will be gender non-conforming, and at that age, the majority of those will be boys. This is the predation and the beginning of a path of gay conversion therapy that needs to be criminalized. These are extremely sick people in my book. But you'll be able to tell me what you think. It's really important to address the belief, Berg continues, I'm not a real boy because I don't have these private parts, versus I am a real boy, whatever my anatomy looks like. Berg added, it's about helping children develop tools to cope with messages in society that could lead to shame. Alpha News reached out to the University of Minnesota's Eli Coleman Institute for Sexual and Gender Health for comment, but did not receive a response. These are predators. They are preying on children. Anybody who is involved in this in my book is now a predator. The information's out there. You don't need any more information. We've got it. You know as well as I do, these would be the tomboys, and these would be effeminate boys. It's going to be the young girls and boys who would, in all likelihood, and in regards to the figures, turn out to be perfectly healthy same-sex attracted people. And what they are now doing is getting them so young so that they can convert them straight away. And they're doing it using childlike play. This is pure grooming. It is pure predation. And the likes of the NHS and the BBC and every other wet-eared nonsense merchant who thinks that this is okay, including those who believe that there is a clinical trial that's necessary, you, ladies and germs, are just as culpable. It would have been me. It would have been my friends. Anyway, I'll see you later.